I've been doing some deep thinking, and ever since I appeared on the Cross the Pond MMA podcast, I feel like I should just switch up on every single one of my day ones. I've already switched up on my family, my friends, my loved ones, the closest to me, switched up on all of them. I've bought a penthouse in Miami. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Money Manziel MMA channel. Obviously, I still have love for the subscribers, so I am still here for now, right? You won't get the switch up yet. Soon, though, I will be switching up on every single one of you. But in this video, we are going to be talking about the biggest waste of talent in UFC history, and this is actually a man on the card tomorrow. And for all we know, there could be dialogue going on about him right now, because this is a guy in Kelvin Gastelum who... he's on the early prelims of UFC 327, and when I found out Kelvin Gastelum was one of the openers of the actual card, not even the main card, the opener of the card, a tear came down my face, right? I was sitting in my room, in my bed, doom scrolling on TikTok, laughing at Yuri Prohaska autism compilations, and I got the noti that Kelvin Gastelum was fighting on this card, and it hurt my soul to think about how good this dude could have been, man, because it used to be legendary, but, the issue is simple. Look at the weight classes here. Kelvin Gastelum is at middleweight, right? That means he's a 185-pounder. Now, let's put this into perspective. Kelvin Gastelum is at a truly towering height of 5'9", which means Kelvin Gastelum is my height. I'm 5'9". Admittedly, I'll tell you I'm 5'10", but I'm a short king, right? I'm 5'9". 5'10" in shoes, though, ladies. But yeah, Kelvin Gastelum, 5'9", 185 pounds. You would think it would be the easiest cut of his life to go down any more weight classes. And in fact, it probably would be, because the fight after his is Chris Padilla versus Markel Medeiros, which is at 155, a whole 30 pounds lighter. Now, do you notice anything interesting here? Chris Padilla is the same height as Gastelum, and Medeiros is taller. Isn't Sean Woodson 6'3" in a featherweight or some shit like that? Kelvin Gastelum, 5'9" at 185, there are already red flags, but it was not always this bad with Kelvin Gastelum. This is a guy that started off his career very well. We'll get into that in a little bit, but Gastelum, to me, has always been a guy that, he's making a 185 because he can at this point, and honestly, I don't blame him, right? If it works, it works, but This is where everything gets started, right? When we talk about wasted talent. Kelvin Gastelum, in his last fight before this one, missed weight by 5 pounds. To put that into perspective, Kelvin Gastelum is a 5'9", 185-pounder. That means he weighed in at 191 pounds in his last fight. You are 5'9". You are a short king, and you can't make 185? You missed weight by 5 pounds? That's how fat you are? Brother, what are you doing? This guy is training 6 to 7 days a week. I'm 20 years old. I just made a 6'7" joke. 6 days a week this dude is training, minimum, has to be. He could be just fucking eating tacos and not fucking training at all, but let's assume Kelvin Gastelum is actually training routinely, right? He looks like he's, in decent fight shape when he steps in there. How is it possible that you are not burning calories? Your maintenance at 5'9", 185, if you're training all the time, if you're walking around at 185, your maintenance is like 2,800 calories. If you only ate 2,200 calories a day, brother, a Panda Express teriyaki white rice, you can throw some extra shit in there, throw a fortune cookie in there for all I care. Brother, that shit is only like 700 calories. You could do 3 of those a day, you'd still be losing a pound a week. How are you not making 185? That being said, you would think, oh my god, he missed weight by 5 pounds. Wow, he must have gotten smoked. The guy won pretty easily. Not easily. Hold on. Stop that conversation. He went life and death with Dustin Stoltzfus, which, dude, Dustin Stoltzfus is ass. But regardless, look at this headline here. Kelvin Gastelum wins bloody battle after comically missing weight for a 5th time ahead of Noche UFC. 5 times the guy has missed weight. How do you come in 5 pounds overweight at 185? This is only the start of the Kelvin Gastelum issues, but it doesn't really explain why I call him a waste of talent, because right now you're probably thinking, wow, this is just a fatso. This is a guy that is going to be diabetic in his later years. Heart issues are on the way. Obesity is in his future once he retires. But how is that wasted talent? I'll tell you why. Kelvin Gastelum started his career 12-0. This is a guy that beat Uriah Hall to win the Ultimate Fighter. has a submission over Jake Ellenberger, which was a good win at the time. People forget, man, prime Jake Ellenberger was a monster, man. He got his foot stuck in the cage that one time against Masvidal. But no, Kelvin Gastelum 12-0. Look at all the finishes there, man. What a beautiful record that is. Started 12-0, and this got him a big fight to start he got a title eliminator, for fuck's sake. In 2015, a title eliminator against Tyron T. Woodley. Do not ask Tyron Woodley what happened against Jake Paul, because holy shit, man, what a day that was. Anybody remember that shit when he embarrassed the MMA community? Anyways, Tyron Woodley and Kelvin Gastelum in a title eliminator. Winner is going to fight Robbie Lawler for the belt on a big pay-per-view, right? Silva vs. Diaz was 183. One of the highest selling pay-per-views of all time, so a massive spot. You would think at 170 pounds, Kelvin Gastelum is locked in, right? 5'9". There's literally no way you're 5'9", training 6 times a week, and you have any trouble making weight, right? Kelvin Gastelum was contractually obligated to make 171. He came in at 180 pounds. How is that even possible? You are 23 years old at the time. You should be burning calories like your life depends on it. You should be burning calories every training session. Biggest fight of your life, you should be doing 2-a-days. How are you burning 4,000 calories a day and you cannot make 171 at 5'9"? 5'9", you should be burning 4,000 calories. Even if you ate 3,000 calories a day, you'd still be on track to cut weight easily to make it. What, are you walking around at 220 at 5'9"? How is that possible? Also, the guy, by the way, side note, has an account on YouTube where he calls it Missing Weight with Kelvin Gastelum. You can't make this shit up, dog. I gotta be honest with you. Unbelievable stuff. But that's only the start of it. By the way, he went on to lose. Close fight, kind of controversial, but Gastelum lost the fight versus Woodley, so misses out on a title eliminator. And we need to skip ahead a few years because eventually Kelvin Gastelum finds his way back into big fights. And I'll tell you how he does it. He gets Michael Bisping on short notice. Now, Michael Bisping, let's talk about this for a second, right? Because the video is about Kelvin Gastelum being a waste of talent. And this is a guy that is so good, he could come in at 191 at 5'9" and box the head off of Dustin Stoltzfus, which is not impressive, really, but still a very talented guy. Go and watch that fight back. Michael Bisping goes in there versus Kelvin Gastelum. This is very much a speed run to retirement, because let's talk about this for a second. It was supposed to be Anderson Silva versus Kelvin Gastelum, but Anderson Silva popped for Viagra. What are you going to do? You know what I mean? Anderson Silva was a fucking freak at 40 years old. That's all I'm saying. But Kelvin Gastelum was instead given Michael Bisping, and you would say, oh, wow, this is a pretty compelling matchup. I wonder what happened. Let me give you some context. Michael Bisping got submitted, dropped, and left in a pool of his own blood by GSP on November 7th of 2017, or maybe it was November 4th. I think it was November 4th of 2017. GSP left Michael Bisping in a pool of his own blood after dropping him and choking him unconscious. The fight versus Kelvin Gastelum and Michael Bisping was November 25th of the same year. He waited 21 days to fight again. That is a real man's fighter. Fuck CTE, it's fake. Even Nico Price got standing KO'd and came back later than Michael Bisping did. Shocking after losing the belt, but I'm going to give you a chance to make a wild estimate as to what happened in the Bisping versus Gastelum fight if you don't know. You would be correct if you stated Gastelum KO'd him in round 1. I'm pretty sure that this is the last KO of Gastelum's career, by the way. I don't think he has a finish since this fight. I believe it's almost been 9 years. I think it's been like 8 years since Kelvin Gastelum has gotten a finish inside the UFC. So, crazy shit, but he beats Michael Bisping, automatically becomes in title contention after the fact. He beats Jacare Souza in a close fight afterwards, and all of a sudden, Kelvin Gastelum finds himself in an interim title fight against Israel Adesanya. Now, this is a fight on paper. You look at it, you're like, okay, Kelvin Gastelum is literally a blown-up 155er. 5'9" is the average height of featherweights. That is 145. And Kelvin Gastelum is at middleweight at 185, still doing the damn thing. Shout out to you, Kelvin. He goes in there versus Izzy. You would think on paper, alright, well, Gastelum's a good boxer, but come on. Like, Izzy, this is the crowning of the king right here. We're going to get him versus Whitaker afterwards. What a time to be alive. Make easy work of Gastelum and get him out of there. This fight ended up being so good that it is inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame. Kelvin Gastelum, all 5'9" and obese, 185 pounds of himself, This is just a tubby Mexican guy at this point with good hands. Went in there and gave Izzy real Mexican problems. This dude went in there, gave Izzy such bad problems that Izzy, before the 5th round, was talking about, I'm ready to die in here. This fight is actually used as a stain on Izzy's resume. That's how much people didn't believe in Gastelum at the time. But he went in there and did his damn thing. Shout out to Kelvin Gastelum. Still an incredible fight to watch back. Please go back and watch round 5 of this fight. Truly incredible. But regardless, Gastelum goes in there. He loses, but it's an incredible fight. And knowing the legacy of Izzy, one of the great, or probably the second greatest middleweight of all time, bunch of defenses, legendary reign, some great finishes in his career, considered a legend of the MMA game. And Gastelum brought him to a razor-thin 48-46 decision where he toughed out the crazy moments at the end of the fight, gave Izzy hell, rocked him a couple times, had him seeing death's door itself. You would think for Gastelum, it would only go up from here, bro. You come back in a little bit, you win some fights, you get the belt. All is smooth sailing. Wow, what a short, chubby middleweight. This guy gets it done. Let's look at the rest of the career of Kelvin Gastelum, because including this fight, in the last 7 years, almost to the day, Kelvin Gastelum is 4-7 in the UFC. Now, let's talk about it, man. He loses to Darren Till in November, and it says split decision. I felt like Darren Till won. I mean, he did Kelvin did the Cheeto Vera method, which is lose a close fight where you don't separate yourself and then cry robbery afterwards. This guy got submitted by Jack Hermanson in a minute. When is the last time you watched Jack Hermanson finish a fight? I have been watching Jack Hermanson since I started watching the UFC. Gastelum is the only guy I've ever watched him finish. That is the level we're talking about, and he heel hooked him. When the hell has Jack Hermanson ever heel hooked anybody? Have you ever seen Jack Hermanson like fucking Imanari roll his way into a fucking leg lock? Crazy shit. So Gastelum's only wins in the last 7 years at this point are Ian Heinisch, not in the UFC, also not a real person, Chris Curtis at UFC 287, actually a very good performance, D-Rod, who just got out of jail, and then Dustin Stoltzfus, a guy that Sean Strickland went on Rogan and said he didn't know how Stoltzfus got in the UFC. Those are the wins of Gastelum. None of them are even really relevant anymore. Stoltzfus, who gives a shit? D-Rod is 40 and was in prison for the last 8 months. Chris Curtis is 40 and just got absolutely Khabib maxed by Miktabek Oralbai. And Ian Heinisch, not a real person, AI generated. So he's got a bunch of losses on the record and has effectively lost to everyone good he's faced since then. So what went wrong for Kelvin Gastelum, right? This is a guy, to me, that should have always been a 170-pounder at best. How could he not even make 155? We've got dudes at 155 6 feet tall. You've got muscular dudes making 155. If Joaquin Buckley can make 170, Kelvin Gastelum could be a fucking flyweight for all I care. If Joaquin Buckley and Jared Cannonier making 185, Gastelum should be able to make 145 at this point. Gastelum is effectively an obese lightweight, and that is really where the talent has been wasted. The guy has an eating disorder. In all praise to him, bro, I wish he didn't have it because it sucks. I mean, like, it sucks so bad to me, man. Go and watch Kelvin Gastelum versus Chris Curtis. Go and watch him versus D-Rod. Go back and watch the Jared Cannonier fight. He has slick hands, man. Good takedown defense. We'll talk about the Sean Brady fight in a little bit. Solid grappling. Gastelum has everything you would need to be an elite fighter at the top of the game. A crazy chin. This guy takes punishment like I've never seen before and doesn't get finished. Joe Pyfer put mean issues against him. Shout out to Marauder MMA. I just saw a fox run by my car. I don't know if that's bad luck or if that's good luck, but it's something for sure. I mean, Joe Pyfer dropped this dude a bunch of times, could not finish him. Pyfer finished Izzy, you know what I mean? Like, there's levels to this game. Real Mexicans like Kelvin Gastelum can survive the Joe Pyfer problems. But, you know, Izzy can, you know, what are you going to do? But yeah, man, Kelvin Gastelum to me has always been a guy that you sit back and reflect on his career and it makes you sad. Like, a guy that could have made 170 at best, could have made 155, and in fact, there was a little moment in time where Gastelum gave me hope, and you know when that was? It was the Sean Brady fight. He went out there versus Sean Brady and locked the fuck in. Look at this lean, mean machine right here, Kelvin Gastelum, making 170 pounds. What a beautiful time to be alive. He's locked in. He opened as a pick'em against Sean Brady. Think about that. Sean Brady was effectively in line for a title shot after beating Leon Edwards and only didn't get it because the timing wasn't great. He needed to fight one more time afterwards, solely because he kind of fought too close to, when Bilal had the belt, and then JDM got it, in May, and then you had to do the Islam fight. So, bad timing for Sean Brady, but this is a guy that was pick'em with Kelvin Gastelum. Kelvin Gastelum, brother, show me what you've got. You're locked in on life now. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This dude, I can't use the word I want to use to describe what happened to him here, but it was bad, man. Sean Brady did whatever he wanted to Kelvin Gastelum, ragdolled him. But listen, man, we are Kelvin Gastelum on this channel. We are coming back stronger. He said after this fight, I'm going to stay at welterweight. This is where I am now. Look at, he's got a little bit of listen, there's a little less body fat on that physique. Look at the lean physique of Kelvin Gastelum in that picture. He is back, bro. He lost to Sean Brady. It's all right. Sean Brady's the best of the best. Regroup, come back stronger. And look at this, man. A layup right here. D-Rod, dog shit fighter. Well, actually, no. D-Rod's kind of weirdly underrated, right? Like, I don't think he's that good, but D-Rod somehow just finds a way to win fights, and kind of Neil Magny-esque, where you think they're dog shit when you watch them, but somehow they always win. But still, Gastelum as a lean, mean 170-pounder, this is a beautiful matchup for him, brother. Show him what you've got in this fight at 170 pounds. No more weight issues for Kelvin Gastelum anymore. He is locked in. He has put the tacos down. He has put the KFC down. No more Crunchwrap Supremes for you, Kelvin Gastelum. Show us what you've got. Oh, my God. This guy was so fat coming into a fight at 170 pounds, he couldn't even make a catch weight of 180. 10 pounds above what he was supposed to weigh. Gastelum couldn't do it. They had to move the fight 15 pounds up for it to take place. That is fucking insane. Kelvin Gastelum should be ashamed of himself. And guess what, bro? He still beat D-Rod. That's how talented Gastelum was. This guy was so out of shape. He needed to move the fight up 15 pounds, and he still did it. That takes an insane level of skill. Gastelum will always be the funniest case of a wasted talent to me, and I don't know, man. It's incredible thinking back on the career of Gastelum, and, I sit here today and I look at the Unk-Off, which is Kelvin Gastelum and Vicente Luque. Vicente Luque essentially got to the early prelims off of being washed, right? Like, he's just not the same guy anymore, right? You can Darce choke at Temba Garimbo all you want. It's not going to prove much to me. He Anthony Smith maxed for 3 straight rounds against Joel Alvarez, so I understand why Luque's here. But Gastelum has essentially made himself an early prelim guy off of a refusal to cut calories. Brother, watch a fucking fitness creator on TikTok get in a calorie deficit, hit the Stairmaster twice a week. You are doing 6 training sessions a week probably at minimum. How are you not losing weight? I don't understand, man. It will never make sense to me. Kelvin Gastelum, you could have been something special, and man, the dialogue around Gastelum if he loses this weekend, or even if he wins, it's insane, man. The guy's still only 34. He should, it hurts my heart, man, and tears are almost forming in my eyes, so we gotta wrap it up while we can. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for the video today. I hope you all enjoyed. Listen, I didn't switch up on my day ones, right? I'm still here. I'm still making these videos for you guys because I love you, and I always want to produce the content that I feel like is fun to me. This is a fun one I came up with on my drive today, just driving around thinking about life, and Kelvin Gastelum was on the top of my mind, so wanted to come on here and talk about him. I hope you guys enjoyed it. My TikTok is at MoneyManziel MMA. My X is at MoneyManziel MMA. If you haven't seen it already, I did appear on the Across the Pond podcast with Marauder MMA, Zombie Man J, Alfredo, and Benjay. So go and check out that podcast. I had a little face reveal. I let off a little rant about Aaron Pico and Pitbull at one point. Otherwise, I was nervous as hell the whole time, but can't blame me, bro. I was scared as shit coming into that. But I do appreciate every single one of you. Subscribe down below if you haven't already. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful Friday. We'll take Saturday off to let you enjoy the fights, and I'll be back Sunday morning to give my instant reaction to UFC 327. Let's go, Yuri Proska. Let's go for that, brother. See you all in the next one. Peace out.